Hello everybody, this is Heather and I am back with another video. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while. We've been living in our condo here for almost a year and our lease is almost up, so we might actually be moving pretty quick. So I figured I better get this done before my craft room changes once again. So in our condo here in Calgary, we have a 2-bedroom, and so I am super lucky enough to have my own craft room. I'm so happy. It's been such a wonderful thing having a door to close, because previously in our basement suite I had definitely a good sized craft area, but it was sort of in the middle of the living area. So it's kind of nice that I can make a mess and just shut the door, or film videos with the door closed. It's really been nice. So I'll do a kind of quick overview because you've seen most of my supplies before. I've done craft room videos prior to this, so I can link those in the description below if you'd like to see some details of how I organize certain things. And I'll try to focus on things that may have changed since I last did a tour video. So I did a quick tour of when I first moved in here, and I think the most immediate change you'll see from that is this shelf right here. It's the IKEA, I don't know what it's called, but it's definitely from IKEA, and I got the 4 cube by 4 cube one, and I love this. I just love how it looks and how my albums look on it. I love displaying things in it. I've got my cameras up top and a bit of artwork, and I've got 2 typewriters, one there that I got for Christmas this year from my brother, and this one I've had for a while, so I just display some projects in the keys of those. And I've got this paper organizer, also from IKEA, for some of my pattern papers. I've got a few little drawer units, that one, as well as one down here that hold small items. On the bottom I've got my older albums down there, some paper pads, some books, and some smaller paper pads. I've got my dies, my stamps in this binder, more of my Tim Holtz stamps, all in that binder that I made. My Cuttlebug. This is our Spellbinders machine here, and I'm loving that so far. In these I've got some of my most used cardstock. So in this one I've got craft, black, teal, gray, and white. And this one's actually empty, so I can put some stuff in there. This is Pippin's album that I'm still working on. In this bucket I've got all of my paints because I've been painting quite a lot lately, so those are my acrylic paints. And then back here in this drawer unit I've got some different pens, so all my distress markers, my Sharpies, and then miscellaneous little things. These are mostly empty, so room to grow for small things in there. I organize my pattern paper scraps in this folder, the accordion folder. This bin's actually empty, so I have room to grow into that. Here's a closer look at this binder I made for my stamps. They come with those 3 rings, so I just made the covers accordingly. I've got some decor in here, including some of my old cameras. There's another camera up there, and my mom's old label maker. Love that. And so that is my shelf. Over here I've got my Raskog. So my main work surface is right here, and I have all this natural light from outside. We have just got a huge dump of snow in the last couple days. It snowed probably 14 inches overnight and today, so it's looking pretty snowy out there, and our nice neighbor lady cleared our sidewalk, so that was really sweet. And that's my vehicle out there. So anyways, here is the Raskog cart. So I've got my most used items here. I've got my heat tool for embossing, Up here I've got some embellishments like paper clips, skinny washi, glitter, some wood veneers in this little tin within this basket. I've got my distress crayons and my gelatos in there, and some sequins here, some of my Nouveau drops, and all of my Wild Whisper stamp sets I keep right here because I use them a lot. So I want to make some kind of storage for them, because if I get very many more, they're not going to fit. And of course I will be getting more. So I might make their own binder for these. And I've got miscellaneous sequins in here, more sequins here, some kind of enamel dot type things here, small stamps in that bin, just notepads and receipts down there. And then in my Studio Calico folders here, I've got different embellishments. So I think there's like chipboard things here, there's puffy stickers, and then die cut type things. And I've got my little word stickers and my adage tickets. Adage, I don't know. And back here I've got my Spectrum Noir pens in this bin, as well as some watercolor stuff on top. I love lettering with those pens. Got just my pencil case and some other notebooks here. On the middle layer, in this green box, I've got different types of wood veneer in there. I've got a few jars here with bits of lace and bits of different trims. Just a little trinket box, some twine, and then my distress stains in there, and some wet wipes, great for cleaning stamps. Right now I've got my easel out right here because I've been painting a fair bit. I'll show you my paintings that I've done recently. So they are up here on this IKEA floating shelf, and I did these 3 canvases all last weekend, so I went through a bit of a spurt. And this is my own hand lettering on this one. I've been practicing more lately and really loving hand lettering, so I just scanned my original and transferred it to my Silhouette software and cut it out on white cardstock and adhered it to the canvas, so it has a bit of dimension, as well as all that mixed media goodness. So that's a fun one. This one I did a bit of mixed media here, and I painted the flowers then on top. And same with this one, it's got mixed media as well. So these antlers are actually a Wild Whisper design that I cut and had the negative left over, I guess, and just used the cardstock negative as a stencil to make those antlers, and then just painted the floral on top. And this little frame is one of our new designs from Wild Whisper in the More Adventures collection, so I just framed that 4x6 card because I liked it with the colors in these. I've got this string of lights. I should actually plug this in. They are clothespins that light up. They're quite cool. Sorry, I'm pointing at the corner. But there, now they're lit up, and you can clip things to them. So I've got a couple of my layouts and some photos and some Christmas cards. These arrow baskets belong to Wild Whisper, and I just hung them on my wall because we don't have a display set up full time, so I use them when we're not using them, and just stuck some of my little projects in here and some of my traveler's notebooks. So that's fun. On this bench here, I keep all kinds of junk in that bench, and on top of it I have this basket of mini albums, as well as this is the case for one of my typewriters, this bird cage, and then my Scentsy. I've got this cute wall art with some photos I've taken. On my desk I have two lamps. This lamp I've had for a while. I think it's from Walmart. It provides good bright light. And this lamp is my new light that I got for Christmas, so I'm liking that a lot for videos. I think you've seen this before in my craft room. It's one of those spinners from Michael's, but I actually got it secondhand, so it was cheaper. And it sits on top of my Keurig K-Cup organizer. So this is meant to organize your Keurig coffees. Oops, I almost spilled my tea. But it fits my washi tape perfectly, so I am running out of room in there. I may need to expand to something new eventually, but for now it works great. And these fat washies don't fit in there, so they just hang out there. On this side of my desk I have the guillotine trimmer, which works really nice, and I use that almost exclusively now instead of my other paper trimmer here, because the blade just got too dull and I've been too lazy to replace it, and I love how the guillotine cuts. Hope I'm not making you dizzy, and sorry that this is so random, but okay, next I've got this kind of standing height tabletop, and it's from IKEA as well. It also belongs to Wild Whisper because we use it as a transaction surface when we have our shop set up. But in my craft room I use it for the cameo on top of here. It fits perfectly, and I just pull it out from the wall a little bit. My cord, just for convenience, I tucked it up in here so that my dog doesn't chew it. But in the drawer I've got some of the silhouette accessories, and in here I've got some photo paper, and this is just regular cardstock. And in here on the second shelf is my printer, and down here is kind of a really cool old crate thing that has a bunch of Wild Whisper projects in there from our design team. So we've got a lot of design team projects that we need to return that we've had for a while, but we love our designers and we just love their projects. We don't want to give them back. So then on this side of the room I've got these two floating shelves, and then my sewing machine down here. It sits on this little bench thing that matches the bench over here. And I've got random paper and stuff in there. And the way that I sew, it's actually so awkward. I just leave my sewing machine here and I squat down and I press the pedal with my knee instead of my foot, and I've gotten pretty good at it actually. So that's my weird sewing technique, and this is just a really old sewing machine that I got used from someone, but it's working perfectly for paper and I love using it. Here I've got most of my December dailies on this shelf, and there's a couple more up there as well. Oh, and there's one there. So I guess they're kind of all spread out. And then up here I've got this project that I made for Wild Whisper, a couple more canvases that I did recently with, that's a Wild Whisper stamp there, the wolf, I love that. And then just some old pictures of my husband and I when we were little, just little. On this side of the room is my closet, and I guess I will let you look in it. It's not the prettiest, but it could be worse. So in here I've got my plastic drawers, and I think I've shown you what's in those all previously. It hasn't changed much. In the bottom I have clay and felt and different artsy items. This drawer I've got most of my painting and mixed media art stuff. In the top I've got my wood mounted stamps. Then in this unit I've got my 8.5 by 11 paper, my punches, my paper scraps all in Ziplocs, and then miscellaneous embellishments and stuff in there. and mostly embellishments and all kinds of fun stuff in these 2 containers. So that's that. Up here I've got my ribbon hanging on a dowel, and these are some kind of clip from IKEA. They're not really curtain hangy things because I don't know how you would get the curtain in there. I don't know what they are, but I just used a piece of ribbon to clamp onto there. Up here is mostly non-crafty stuff. I've got files of different things, binders, some albums that I might use someday. I don't actually know what's in these boxes. My really old album, and then some other boxes and stuff. Down here I've got my letter stickers and other stickers like that in this folder thing, and there's a bunch of other junk underneath that. And over here in these bags are more design team projects and some canvases back there, as well as some random hardware and stuff in that bag. So that's the closet, and I think that's pretty much everything. If I missed something, please ask away and I will try to answer your questions. Or if you're wondering how I organize a certain thing, I can try to explain it a bit better in the comments below. Lastly, I guess I didn't show you what's in this drawer, and it's some of my most used stuff. So in here I've got pens and different things like that, some envelopes back there. In here I have mostly all of my inks, so my distress inks, my Versamark, all the good stuff. In here I've got adhesive, miscellaneous things, refills, envelopes back there, and grunge board, which I don't use very often, so it should maybe get put somewhere else. And then my most used mixed media stuff, so all my sprays. My favorites are the Heidi Swap Color Shine, and of course the gold Heidi Swap. This is a new product that I got at Creativation. This company, Aladine, is French and everything's made in France, and this is sort of a pearl paste. It's really fun. I love my crackle texture paste, my collage medium, my Liquitex molding paste, love all that stuff. And there's a few random embossing powders in there, but I keep my favorite powders over here on my shelf. These are all my Emerald Creek powders, and they're just awesome. This is one of my faves. It's the Fractured Ice. So beautiful. Love my Emerald Creek stuff. And my Wild Whisper stuff, I showed you my stamps over there where I keep them separate, but I also keep most of my Wild Whisper paper here, and in my scraps are in these folders here. And I don't have a ton on hand because I just use it up right away, so that's what I've been using most lately, and I hope you enjoyed this tour. Oops, moved really fast. Hope you enjoyed this tour, and again, please let me know if you do have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week.